Alcime. I won't let you go. Did I not do everything you asked of me? Why then? Here, of all places, on your sacred island, I do not accept it. If this is your will, I do not accept it.
Jason, your uncle was looking for you. He wanted to know when you planned to give last rites to Alcime.
If I send her spirit to the underworld, I'll never get her back.
Get her back? How?
I don't know how. I don't have the answers yet, but there must be a way.
I wish I had the answers to give you. But perhaps I know someone who could. Someone whose business is answers. The Oracle at Delphi.
Delphi?
If anyone would know, it would be her.
Yes, the Oracle. Master Argos finishes a great ship as we speak. It will serve.
Delphi's not easily found, it's said. Does he know the way?
I don't know, but I aim to find out. Come, we'll ask him ourselves.
Oh, remember, your uncle is ahead in the courtyard. He wanted to speak with you. I told him I'd let you know.
There you are, Jason. It's good to see you out of that mausoleum. It isn't healthy to linger over the dead, nephew. Iolcus needs its king. Captain Idas has finished his investigation. Petitions await, and we must set a date to give last rites to Alcime.
There will be no date for that.
What? Jason, I am your uncle, and I care for you. The will of the gods may be a mystery to us all, but to deny Alcime her last rites is unnatural.
Until I'm certain there's no way to bring her back, I will not do it.
Bring her back? Alcime is dead. You seek the impossible.
Impossible? Orpheus convinced Hades himself to allow his wife to return to the living.
Orpheus made a deal with Hades, but he broke it. Eurydice never saw the light of day.
But she could have. Orpheus failed, but that does not mean Jason would if given the same chance.
I'm going to Delphi, Uncle. I'll find my answers there.
This is the despair of grief. You're not thinking clearly. Alcime would not approve.
Elias, you've always given me good counsel, so I'll say this once and I'll say it plainly. My mind is set to this. Either lend your wisdom to help me, or stay out of my way.
I understand your ardor, Jason, but have you thought this through? Delphi is not found on any map. Find 100 charts, and each will point a different way.
I would trust Argos' charts above any other. Hercules and I will go ask him ourselves.
Very well. I know better than to argue with you when your mind is set. I will consult our records about the location of Delphi, in case Master Argos doesn't know the way.
Thank you, Uncle.
Delphi, I pray you find the answers you seek, nephew. I will go to the royal court and maintain some semblance of order there.
But then why kill the princess on her wedding dress?
I think they were sending a message to all of Greece.
We must prepare for war.
Ione would not be so.
Hail, King Jason. Lieutenant Avarius, how goes the training?
Lieutenants Myron and Clayton are putting the new recruits through their paces. They're rough, but they'll learn.
Perhaps I could teach them a thing or two.
You? Listen up, you men. You've a rare honor today. King Jason himself is going to show you how a warrior fights. This is one of our newest recruits, King Jason. Breathe, boy. Can't have you passing out before you started.
Don't be nervous. Try your best.
That's how you do it, men. Now you understand why he's the warden. Perhaps the king will show us how to fight against multiple opponents. King Jason?
Perhaps later. I've some matters to see to. Continue on.
I think they were sending a message to all of Greece. We must prepare for war.
So young.
What a view! You can see for miles here.
The sacrifices of those who died in defense of this land will never be forgotten. Be proud of your men and women, your sons and daughters, your kin. They honored their vows. May we give as much to honor our own.
King Jason.
Elpis, I didn't know you were among the injured.
Oh, it was nothing. I'm recovered, mostly. It's just my poor parents.
What do you mean?
My parents don't know what happened to me, nor do I want them to. Could you tell them I'm well? That I've just been too busy to see them?
Of course. Why burden them?
I knew you'd understand.
Rest now, Elpis. I'll speak to your parents. This is where I first met Alcime.
When you were children?
Yes. Her father, King Lycomedes, left her in the care of my father while he was at war. 10 years she lived here.
Alcime, come back! She is willful, Kingsley. You must watch her carefully.
She'll be safe here, Lycomedes.
Indeed. No one knows. Not even my advisors. Alcime!
Are you spying? Here, Father.
I see you've met young Jason.
King Lycomedes, sir.
Jason, word of advice. I know my daughter. You're going to have to keep your wits about you.
Come, Hercules.
I should do the same as a show of humility. Servant.
My condolences on your loss.
Indeed.
I thank you both.
We've heard a rumor that the assassin, may he rot in Tartarus, was a Black Tongue.
Certainly that isn't true.
Captain Idas is finishing his investigation. We'll know more then.
The Black Tongues haven't been seen in a decade. King Lycomedes destroyed them.
It must be a mistake.
Gentlemen, if you'll excuse me.
Yes. Yes. Humility. Olympus must see that we are humble men, lest such trouble.
That's not what I heard.
Hail, sire. Guard Pathras, what troubles you?
Grief, my king, for your loss and for mine. My younger brother Timaeus was killed in the attack.
Timaeus was your brother? He leapt in front of me and took an assassin's arrow. He died in valor.
His ambition went beyond a noble death. Captain Idas had just promoted him to be the guard's standard bearer. And now this. How can I face my father with such news?
Timaeus died for me. It's my responsibility to tell your father.
You'd do that for me? Speak to my father, Mnason, at his farm?
Yes, but there is something you must do. Guard Pathras. See that the spear of the Yulkan standard bearer is sent to your father in honor of Timaeus' sacrifice.
Such an honor would no doubt ease his suffering. My thanks to you, King Jason.
No stone will ever capture your beauty.
Like I said, they're mad. But why come here? It seems such a remote place to attack.
King Jason, my family and I grieve for your loss.
I thank you.
Some of the other guests and I were discussing the reaction of Mycenae to this tragedy. Do you think Mycenae will seek revenge for the loss of their princess?
Mycenae must be told who was responsible. King Lycomedes is no friend to the Black Tongues.
You're right, of course. And yet, King Lycomedes is not known for his understanding. I'm curious, King Jason. Why was Alcime's father not present at the wedding?
He was occupied, mediating a treaty between neighboring islands. As king of Mycenae and a priest of Ares himself, his presence is enough to ensure peace between rivals.
I see. May Hera bless you.
But then why kill the princess on her wedding dress?
Zeus protect you.
I think they were sending a
And
message
you,
to
Photios.
all of Greece.
I have a message from Master Argo, sir. He says your ship is nearly finished. He awaits your inspection aboard the ship itself.
Thank you. Was there anything else? You seem troubled today.
It's Thano, sir. My closest friend, and a good servant to you. He was killed in the attack. What's more, he died in my arms, and gave to me his final words, meant for his wife, Agatha. It isn't an easy message to bear, sir, and I've yet to find the resolve to do it.
Thano fell beneath my roof. I'll deliver his final words.
I don't envy you the task. What he told me, as he lay dying, was that he always loved Agatha, even though he was not always faithful. He hoped she would remember him as a good man, if not a perfect one, and find it in her heart to forgive him. You see, not the easiest matter to address.
It is delicate.
It's unheard of.
I'll give this message to Agatha.
Those Ionians must be mad to risk the wrath of Zeus.
They are barbarians who worship the old gods. They don't even acknowledge Zeus.
Like I said, they're mad. But why come here? Seems such a remote place to attack.
Plunder, perhaps.
But then why kill the princess on her wedding day?
How can you be so cold? It's terrible enough what happened. King Jason, how can I express my sorrow?
Thank you for your sympathy.
My cousin and I were surprised to learn of the friendship between Hercules and yourself. How did you meet?
Iolcus is a land sacred to Zeus, Hercules' father.
Jason has been kind enough to offer his hospitality as the Warden of Zeus when I've come to visit.
That's another thing. This Warden of Zeus. What does that title mean?
All kings of Iolcus who complete the 5 trials of Zeus assume that title. In doing so, we swear to defend this land and the honor of Zeus against all threats. In some ways, it's a ceremonial title that reflects the strong attachment between Zeus and Iolcus.
But what does the Warden do exactly?
The Warden is responsible for ensuring that the people of Iolcus receive justice. I often hear the cases of the people and offer judgment and arbitration. Another duty is to enforce the law and punish those who break it.
A truly noble calling. Is there more?
One of the Warden's most important duties is to perform a number of ceremonies in honor of Zeus. For example, the Warden performs the first sacrifice of the harvest season each year. As the god of hospitality, Zeus demands that we also care for any traveler who arrives on Iolcus. The Warden personally sees to the safety and well-being of those travelers.
Your hospitality is second to none. Are there other duties?
The Warden of Zeus is charged with defending the island of Iolcus. We take a sacred oath to never leave this land once we pass our trials, and to be ever vigilant against any threat. In return, each Warden earns Zeus's protection. No Warden has ever fallen in battle on Iolcan soil.
Fascinating. What else?
Most of a Warden's time is spent training and preparing for situations we hope never arise. When a Warden has a son, he turns to his boy's training, preparing him for the trials he is to face. That training is the basis for a lifetime of dedicated practice and devotion.
Such dedication. Is there anything else?
I'm sorry. I have some urgent matters to attend to. Perhaps we can speak of my duties some other time.
Oh, I see. Of course. How can you be so cold?
New life
It's
will be
terrible
good for
enough
the...
what
Sir,
happened.
we'll have this garden looking better than ever.
Speak cruelly
I
of
promise
that
you.
beautiful girl, and yet the facts
Carry
are
on.
facts.
You'd have a king like Medes ask Jason for his daughter back?
Oh, poor Thano. This was his job.
That mausoleum. Warden, sir. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. I'll leave you to your work.
So cold. It's terrible enough what happened.
Hera forbid I speak cruelly of that beautiful girl. And yet the facts are facts.
Bold is to look westward for conquest.
So I thought. Until what happened to me.
It's unheard of. Attacking Yolkis.
There's plenty of rumors and tall tales flying around. Do well not to listen to them.
Yes. Humility. Olympus must see that we are...
Hail, King Jason.
Captain Idas, how are you feeling?
Better, my king. My pride was injured more than anything. Was a time those Ionian dogs wouldn't have had a chance.
You fought bravely, my friend. The odds were great.
I've got 3 things for your attention, Jason. First, we have the results from our investigation of the attack. Second, I've just received a report of a disturbance in the village. And lastly, there's a private matter I would discuss with you.
What is this private matter, Idas? You know you may speak freely with me.
Yes, well, it's time for me to step down, Jason. I'm not the man I once was. This attack made me realize I've grown old. I can't ask men to fight for me when I can't fight for them.
More than any man in Yolkis, you've earned the right to choose when your time has come.
I've got 3 men in mind who could do the job. The sooner you make your choice, the sooner I can start training them to take my place.
I trust your judgment, Idas. You know the men better than anyone. Make your choice, and I'll approve it.
As you wish. I've already called for the men. Ah, here they are now. Lieutenants Ivarius, Myron, and Platon. You men all fought with distinction and have served Yolkis well. But only one of you may be called to serve as captain. Lieutenant Ivarius, step forward.
Yes, sir.
Yolkis calls you to duty. Will you captain her guard?
With all my heart, sir.
Avarius, I know you to be a good soldier and an honest man. Follow Idas for a month's time, and then call yourself captain. May you always be first in battle, and last to stand in our defense.
I am honored, sir.
Dismissed.
I thank you, Jason. I'm sure my wife, Cipriana, will thank you too.
After a few months with you around all day, she may change her tune.
I'd like to go tell her the news.
Of course. Let's finish our business, then you can go to the village. What is this report of trouble in the village?
Apparently, Zeno of Thessaloniki has arrived on Iolcus. His brother Menander fell during the attack.
Yes. I heard he was among the guests who were killed.
As you can imagine, Zeno is none too pleased. Thessaloniki has never been a friendly neighbor. Those cheese-eaters have been jealous of Zeus's favor for as long as anyone can remember.
I remember this Zeno. Loud, arrogant sort. Fancies himself a general.
Aye. Well, he's down in the village shouting at anyone who will listen, demanding compensation for his brother. He's got a couple of men with him, and the guard who made the report says there was a witch with him as well.
Let's hear the investigation report.
I'm afraid it's both disturbing and disappointing.
What's the disturbing part?
The assassin bore all the markings of a Black Tongue. His dress, his weapons, his tattoos, and of course, his marksmanship. Jason, I went to that balcony. There's not a bowman in Greece who could have made that shot.
Disturbing indeed. And the disappointing part?
We still don't know why he came. The Ionians, that's easy. They're mercenaries. They came for plunder. But why Alcime was targeted? What anyone could have hoped to gain from it? We've learned nothing.
The Ionians. Are we sure they were nothing more than hired mercenaries?
As far as we can tell. We traced this particular band back to Ithaca. They were there about a month ago to reprovision. Our sources say they spoke there of a new job they'd just been hired for. A well-paying job.
To be safe, let's keep the watch doubled, Idas.
As you say, Jason.
Your palace would be at home among the great houses of Athens or Mycenae.
Hail, sir. There's reports of trouble in the village. Some foreign warrior demanding to see you.
I'll see to it. Thank you.
Welcome, King Jason. May the blessings of Apollo's light shine upon you. What can Pandora, a humble fortune teller and follower of the sun god, do for you?
Does Apollo grant you the gift of foresight? Is that why you're a fortune teller?
I'm certainly not an oracle or even a seer, but I have some knowledge of the stars and their influence on men.
And besides prophecy, why else do you follow Apollo?
Oh, Apollo rules over much more than that. He is the sun god, he who commands the sun. Civilization, music, and order, all of these are noble things.
What of Apollo's virtues? Do they have an effect on your work?
Nobility of purpose, a studious and open mind, compassion. These are the virtues I strive to uphold. There is a reason good men ask Apollo to bless their shields. He favors those whose purpose is true and who fight only to defend what's noble and right.
What type of fortunes do you tell?
I ask a person questions about their relationships with their fellow man. Then I interpret their responses and align them with the constellations of the stars.
Let's see what fortune you can see.
A man's most difficult choice. Which of these relationships shall we explore first?
Duty to king and country. Let us speak of that.
You are a scout in a king's army. A neighboring kingdom threatens your border. A fragile treaty keeps the peace, and you have orders to honor it. On patrol, you spot a soldier from the opposing kingdom hurriedly racing back to his side of the border. From where he was on your side, you see a scratched pattern on the ground, a signal for an invading force. What do you do?
I would observe the marks the enemy soldier had made to interpret their exact intent. Only then would I decide my next course of action.
Your answer is guided by the constellation Pygmalion, the sculptor. Of what shall we speak of next?
Let's discuss.
2 suitors vie for your daughter's hand. One is a prince who will lift your entire family in stature and wealth, but your daughter doesn't love him. The other is a lowly farmer whose land is poor, but whose heart is rich with your daughter's love. If she marries the prince, there will be peace for 100 years, but she will live a short and unhappy life. If she marries the farmer, she will live long and happily, but the land will be plunged into brutal warfare. To whom do you give your blessings?
I'd give my blessing to the prince. The greater good outweighs the happiness of one, no matter who it is.
In this matter, your answer aligns with the constellation Libra, the scales. Of what shall we speak of next?
Let's speak of my...
You are a shepherd. You suspect a neighbor who is neither kin nor friend of opening your gate and grazing his flocks on your land. This shepherd's pet... The wolves have been emerging from the forest in force this year and have claimed many of his flock. The wolves have spared your sheep while they grow fat on his. What do you do?
I'd recognize that I benefit at his expense. He serves as a buffer between my sheep and the wolves. I would suggest that we work together to solve the problem.
I feel the sway of the constellation Libra, the scales, in your answer. Now, we have only the matter of friendship to discuss. You are a poor guard, as is your closest friend. You learn that someone has stolen the devotional offerings from the local temple. You discover it was your friend who did this. His wife is very sick and requires medicine he cannot afford. He offers to split the money with you if you keep his secret. A large reward and a likely promotion await you if you arrest him. What do you do?
I would let him keep all the money.
He's my friend and he has need. The temple be damned.
Here, I sense the stars of the constellation Lupus, the wolf, in your response.
So, Pandora, what fortune do you read in my responses?
In fulfilling your duties, you believe that reason and sound thinking must be the basis of all decisions. In society, the common good is the highest goal. You believe people should work together to solve their collective problems. The bonds of friendship run deep with you. For friends in need, there is nothing you wouldn't do. While your family is important, they do not take precedence over your principles. Your dominant constellation is Libra, the scales. Wherever your path leads, your sense of justice will guide your steps. Your choices have shed much light on the man who stands before me. I hope you have found my humble fortune illuminating in some small way.
I did. Thank you. I must be going.
Up.
Here, Diaphanes, renowned architect, was shown by Apollo the temple and palace he was to build. As he gazed up at the cliffs, he was blinded by a beam of light. Shielding his eyes, he saw the outline of ghostly buildings high above. And thus the palace of the kings of Iolcus was built to honor the vision he had been given. Here was born Amphinome, wife of King Trion. Though a farmer's daughter, she was gifted by the gods with beauty and virtue. Such was her grace that Hera blessed her union with the king, and so she became queen of Iolcus. My mother, a fine queen indeed.
Look who finally decides to grace us with his presence! King Jason himself! It only took you all day!
You'll lose your voice shouting like that, Zeno.
My righteous anger will not be silenced by the likes of you! Thessaloniki will be satisfied! The memory of my brother demands it!
I am sorry for Menander's loss. May he find his way to Elysium.
Not good enough! No, not by a long way, King of Iolcus. There must be compensation, tribute! Your lands here are rich. Your herds are fat. Clearly you've grown soft with Zeus's favor shining down upon you. Things are much different on the rocky soil of Thessaloniki. A hard life makes men tough. But you Iolcans wouldn't know about that.
Save your insults, Thessalonian. Why don't you just say what it is you want?
I will bring my brother's body home. And with it, my ship will be full of Iolcan wheat and sheep. And then, each year, on the anniversary of Menander's death, you will send 10 girls on the cusp of womanhood to me. Never! This is what I demand in tribute to the memory of my murdered brother.
I will see your ship loaded with grain and sheep. I know the people are hungry in Thessaloniki, but no Yolkan girls will ever be paid in tribute to you or anyone else.
You tell him, King Jason! I am not here to negotiate. If you refuse my demand, then my men and I will take our own revenge!
You disgrace your brother's memory with this display.
The lure of tribute brought him here. He doesn't care about his brother's memory.
Do I not? You will see how much his honor means to me. Consider yourself challenged, Warden.
Name your terms.
My men and I against you and your behemoth. Your guards will take no retribution against me after I kill you. When you fall, I take my brother's body and the tribute I have named back to Thessaloniki.
No, don't do it.
And your stake?
I hold here my brother's mace, a weapon worth more than anything on Iolcus. Blessed by Poseidon himself. This will be my stake. Boo!
No one wants it.
No. You will swear here and now, before these witnesses, that your family will make no further claim for tribute. Should any try to do so, they will forfeit the honor of your family name.
Very well. So I swear. So swears Zeno of Thessaloniki.
Tell us when. You boys take all the time you need.
Jason of Iolcus dies today! Kill them! Finish it, you Yolkan dog!
Take your brother home, Zeno.
I won't forget this, Jason.
Leave the mace.
What?
Your stake. Do you forget?
Bah! A curse on Iolcus!
It is a fine mace. Do you think it really was blessed by Poseidon?
Who knows?
One thing's certain. It'll see more honor with you than that fool.
Be careful, King Jason. He had a witch with him earlier. She may still be around.
A witch.
You don't know that, Thaddeus.
You should have seen her. Markings all over her body. And she was asking about the assassin.
More like demands, really. Did any of us see him? Where did he come from? She was very interested, all right.
Where is she now?
That we did. That Zeno man was yelling up a storm, and I saw her slink off.
It was real strange. She had her ears perked like she was listening for something. Then, all of a sudden, she pricks up, and she was off like a bolt toward the Crypt of Kings.
I heard her say under her breath, "I've got you now," as she ran off. I swear on Olympus.
Did she say what her...
We asked that. She said, "Wolves always hunt in packs." Thought that a strange reply myself.
Mostly, she was just pressing. Almost brought my wife to tears. She's keen on it, I tell you. Intense. Like she's got
Thank you. I'll find her and see...
I can throw a spear half a stadium.
You're looking more like your fa...
The princess was so beautiful.
Be good.
Jason.
Idis. How is village life, sir?
It's only been a few minutes. But so far, I think I can get used to it.
Get used to it? Is it that difficult?
It's Elysium, Cypri. There, happy?
I'll leave you two to...
So, what are you going to do without the guard?
Farm.
Farm?
Grapes or barley? Barley, but grapes. Now there's a challenge that could keep me occupied. Give me something to do with myself.
I know you, Idis. You'll be bored within a week if you don't have something to do, some problem to solve. Try the grapes.
As my king commands. I hope you're here to enjoy them.
I'm going to bring her...
I pray you do.
Growing up.
I know you did. But remember, weapons are only as good as the men who wield them. This one.
I am honored, my friend.
Thank you, Jason.
Keep him out...
Keep him fed, Cyprian.
Thank you for dealing with that obnoxious man. The nerve to demand such tribute.
He was nothing like his brother. Let us remember to mourn for Menander.
That we can do. There's been a lot of mourning here of late.
Our neighbor Agatha lost her husband in the attack. He was a servant in the palace. Poor Agatha and her son Sinon. That boy's taking it very hard.
Farewell.
Look, Heroes, it's the king.
What could he be doing here?
Oh no, please no! Help us! Is she...
I'm sorry. Your daughter was seriously wounded, but she is mending.
Oh, Hera, help me! This news will be the death of me!
Steady, wife. He said she's recovering.
When can we see her?
Before I set sail, I'll leave instructions for her to come visit you.
Here landed King Trion's spear, humbling the Athenian Polysede. Drunk from the king's feast, the famed warrior boasted that no Yolkan man could match his throw. For the honor of his kingdom, King Trion took up his challenge. Great Athena lent Trion her skin.
I was raised in a village like this, a long time ago.
Here lies the Crypt of Kings, the final resting place. In this crypt are kings and queens, wardens and champions of Zeus.
Lith on you all, mene babawiai!
The great Medea, how far the mighty have fallen. Your power has grown feeble.
Has it? I bevena monothinai. Forgive me. I lost myself again.
Are you all right?
I am weak, but it will pass.
That Black Tongue called you Medea. I assume that's your name?
It is.
It's time for answers, Medea.
Then ask your questions, Jason.
What are you doing on Iolcus?
Ridding your kingdom of that black-tongue filth.
How did you know he was here?
When I heard of the attack here, I came as quickly as I could. Their assassins never work alone.
How would you know that?
You see the markings I still bear. Are they not answer enough? In another life, I was one of them. Until I realized the powers I gained came with a terrible price.
Your sorcery nearly killed all of us. Do you have no control over it?
There was a time no follower of Hecate could hope to match me. Now when I call upon the full might of my powers, it threatens to overwhelm me.
Medea, do you know why the Black Tongues targeted my wife?
I don't know why, but I know this is not their first attempt. They tried before when she was a babe on my...
What?
When your wife was born, King Lycomedes traveled to Delphi and spoke to the Oracle Pelagia. Whatever he was told, it got the Black Tongue's attention. Assassins were dispatched to both Mycenae and Delphi. Lycomedes thwarted the attempt on your wife, and the assassin Lysander failed to eliminate the Oracle Pelagia. It said he fell in love with her, and and together they fled.
So that's why Lycomedes waged his war.
Yes. His name was cursed by every black tongue in Greece.
Medea, I seek to restore my wife. The Black Tongues are at the heart of what's happened here. Your knowledge of them would be helpful. And in return, I offer you allies in your fight.
If you try to bring her back, the Black Tongues will flock to you like moths to a flame. There'd be no need to chase after them.
Go to my ship. Tell Argos to give you a room.
Jason, are you sure about this?
Your friend is right, Jason. I am not safe to be around. I sometimes lose myself, as you have seen.
You underestimate me.
No, it is you who underestimate me. Believe me, today was a good day. You don't want to see my bad days. There would have to be precautions taken.
Then we'll take them.
Very well, King of Iolcus. I will hunt with you and lend what aid I can. I will prepare the wards to secure your ship.
Far too much sorcery being cast about for my liking. Why did you ask her along, Jason? How can you trust her?
There are forces at work we know little about. Prophecies, Lycomedes, the Black Tongues. Knowledge I can hold. Besides, you saw what she did to that assassin. This is the war armor of the kings of Iolcus. Last worn by my father, Trion. I have never had occasion to don this armor. I'd hoped I never would. But Iolcus needs me now. Her queen needs me. The journey ahead may be difficult. This piece of Iolcus will journey with me.
When the way ahead looks daunting, Iolcus is more than its fair fields and proud bluffs. It is mother to us all. We do not stumble over mountains, my son. We stumble over stones. Step safely over every stone, and you will cross the mountain.
Now, to see about our ship.
Now that is a boat.
Greetings, King Jason. I am the Dockmaster, Nestus. May Athena's 5 virtues be with you always.
Do you follow the Virgin Goddess?
Aye, sir. I make my... That comes in handy when you oversee the motley pack that works these docks.
You mentioned...
Wisdom. These are the 5 virtues of a worthy life. I strive each day to achieve these qualities. Some days are hard.
Athena's...
Athena is the goddess of justice. She is also the goddess of crafts. Truly, the domains of my goddess form the core of good society. Yes, sir. I manage the docks and help out with riggings and I did...
Is Argo...
He mentioned... I can row you out there if you wish.
Thank you, Nestus.
Jason, how are you? My heart broke when I heard what happened. This ship was to be a wedding gift. Now it's something else, I suppose.
Perhaps it still will be, Argos. Is she ready to sail?
Aye, she's girded and fit for open waters.
Good. I have her maiden destination. Delphi.
Delphi? What in Hades do you want to go there for?
I have questions that need answers. Answers I can only find on Delphi.
Argos, do you know the way?
I've sailed most every patch of sea in Greece, but I've never seen the shores of Delphi. Part of me thinks it's just a myth.
There are tales of heroes who've been there.
Aye, and each claims it's in a different place. I'm sorry, Jason. I can't steer you there.
Elias said he would look into it. We should check back with him.
Now what about this Medea woman? She says you told her to come aboard. Nearly scared me half to death. She just walked up behind me in the deck house. No rowboat, no nothing.
It's all right. She'll be coming with us to Delphi.
It's your ship, but you need to see what she's done to her quarters below decks.
Very well, Argos. I will.
It's irregular.
This ship's a sight to see.
Certainly. We can start right here. Now, you've already seen her size. She's the biggest ship I've ever made. She's also the fastest, mind you, but we'll get to that. The hull is soft fir wood, light and strong, and resin-coated to keep out the sea. I've made a few modifications to the classic structure to make room for the rowing apparatus. I told you before, this ship can row itself. Come, I'll show you how. Here, Jason. Take a look down here and tell me what you see.
Ropes, pulleys, oars. I've never seen anything like it.
Of course you haven't. No one has. A ship that can row itself. One man, me, to take the place of 200 hunchbacked oarsmen.
How does it work?
It's taken me half a century to answer that question. More time than we have. Come, I'll show you the deck house. If the ore deck is the heart of this ship, then this room is the head. As long as we have a clear view of the stars, we'll never be lost. I can assign destinations to the various constellations, and this ship will remember how to sail there. And once we've set a destination, the ship will maintain our course without a steersman.
Amazing.
Indeed. You'll find no cramped bunks down here. With the automated oars, we have space to live comfortably. Spacious cabins with room enough for all. Here, there's a chamber to store all your equipment. At the prow end. Well, come, I'll show you. Never had a shrine like this on a ship before. But, as you requested, here it is.
What you've done is wondrous, Argos. I've never seen a finer ship. She has no rival in all of Greece.
I would not boast, but I wouldn't argue with you either. Everything I've ever learned about sailing on the seas, I've put into this ship. There's one thing I'd ask of you in return.
Name it.
Let me sail her for you. I know this ship better than anyone.
Need you have asked, Argos? There's no one else I'd rather have steering this vessel.
Thank you, my king.
One more thing. It's only right that you be forever remembered with your masterpiece. So let it bear your name. I hereby name this ship the Argo. Long may she sail the seas.
Jason, you do me too much honor.
You've earned it, Argo.
Thank you, Jason. Now, I'll leave you to have a look around yourself.
I have finished the runes of warding.
So I see.
They are attuned to you, Jason. Only you can remove them. As long as they remain active, neither I nor my powers can leave this room. However, I can still prove harmful to anything inside these walls.
How did you come to be a Black Tongue?
My father was King Aedes of Colchis. He had no time for daughters. One day, when I was 12, my father decided he would marry me to a neighboring king. My suitor was nearly 60. On our wedding night, I murdered him when he came to my bed. Then I ran. For years, I lived alone, but I vowed never again to be powerless. The Black Tongues found me.
Power can be that way.
Eventually, I realized there was a price to all things. I had thought I was gaining power, but I was being made a thrall. I was that 12-year-old girl all over again. It comes and goes in waves.
Of course. I'd like to know more about the Black...
Such as?
Tell me about how the group is organized.
The Black Tongues are ruled by the secretive Council of Ravens, each of whom is a formidable sorcerer. The exact number of ravens is unknown. They decide. The lower ranks remain ever ready should a mission be given to them. The Black Tongues seek their recruits from the farthest corners of the world, promising paradise in Tartarus. Their agents live in secrecy, and they can strike anywhere at a moment's notice.
How did the Black...
Long ago, they have spent ages cultivating their even Lycomedes himself was unsuccessful when he tried to stamp them out many years ago. They simply receded into the shadows until the danger passed.
I hope you're comfortable here. Let me know if you need anything.
I will.